Alright, so we're back once again, and today we're talking about premium ships, and more specifically, we're talking about premium ships in comparison to other normal grindable ships. So let's get something straight before we start. There's two different types of premium ships. The ships you can grind throughout the game using in-game currency, things like steel ships, coal ships, Thunder, Stalingrad, Burgoyne, stuff like that. And then there's ships, premium ships, that you can actually spend just straight doubloons on in order to get them. There's things like the Lenin, for example, or Scharnhorst, or Tirpitz, ships like that. So there's two different variations within the actual, premium label given to ships. And of course there is ships that you can just grind normally through playing games, things like Kremlin, Venezia, Holland, ships like that. Alright, so this video is going to be structured in three different sections. The first one is that we're going to be going through the perks of premium ships, the economic benefits to having premium ships. Then secondly, we're going to be comparing different premium ships to actual non-premium ships and just trying to see is there actual much of a difference between the actual strength, just the straight up strength, not economic strength. And then finally I'm going to give some personal opinion, how I feel premium ships and actual non-grindable or grindable ships actually fit into the overall ecosystem of the game and how they complement each other. So first of all, let's go through some of the extra perks of premium ships. So there is several perks to having premium ships, and some of them include the fact that you don't need to research ships of lower tiers or higher tiers in order to get them. Also, you don't need to research modules or anything like that. You do get extra credits per game just from the fact that the ship is a premium. All ships have a permanent camouflage that allows you to get varying benefits. All ships have reduced service costs, and you get elite status immediately from the start. And of course, the captain perks of having a premium ship. Let's start with the fact that you don't need to research any modules or even go through a tech tree line in order to get these premium ships. I think this applies more to ships that are purchasable through doubloons than those ships that are available through coal or steel, for example. And I say this because coal and steel ships, there most definitely is a required amount of games before you can get access to those particular premium ships. You do have to grind a particular amount of coal or a particular amount of steel in order to get things like the Stalingrad or the Burgoyne. Whereas if you're just using straight doubloons to buy a premium ship, then this can be seen as more of a significant advantage. However, one thing I would like to point out though is perhaps the main point to consider when deciding whether this truly is an advantage of doubloon premium ships is how much time is your money worth. If you can't afford the time to grind for a tier 10 that's similar to the premium ship, or you can't afford the time to grind the coal to get, the Jean Barge or something like that, then picking up the premium ships for doubloons is a good choice. But if you do have the time, then perhaps just grinding for that normal ship might be more worth it. You get several other ships at the same time, you get more experience from playing the game as a result, and you'll become better. But the advantage of this point is definitely subjective. It's not very clear cut. Okay, moving on. The next few points are undisputable perks of premium ships, whether they be steel or coal ships or just straight up doubloon ships. This is the extra resources earned per battle, be it credits or XP. So if you're running a premium ship less than tier 10, then you automatically get more credits as a result of the ship just being premium. And the rate varies from premium ship to premium ship. This is without using the perma camouflage that accompanies many, if not all, premium ships. In addition to this perk, you also get reduced service costs on all ships from tier 6 and upwards. This usually ranges from a 5% reduction at tier 6 up to a 50% reduction at tier 10. Now, I don't need to explain just how high the service costs are on high tier ships, especially those of tier 9 and tier 10, so any percentage reduction in those is a huge benefit. And when you couple this with a battle service flag, further reducing the cost even more, it makes playing at tier 9 and tier 10 very easy, and creates an environment where there's very low risk of ever losing credits. Okay, the next one is the commander perks. So we're going to explain how commanders interact with premium ships and the benefits attached to them. With premium ships, assigning commanders from other ships of the same nation have no penalty or retraining required. This removes a significant hurdle to getting 19-point captains. If you've ever grinded an entire line and tried to assign a commander you had onto the next ship in the line, you just know how difficult it is to suffer through those games where you have to retrain your captain, using half the captain skills effectively. Premium ships remove this hurdle, making it much easier to level up captains and makes it a much more tolerable experience. Another point is that the premium ships automatically get elite status. Now what this means is that the XP you earn in a premium ship becomes automatically elite commander XP, or not elite commander XP, but elite XP. This means that you can convert this XP into free XP through the use of doubloons. However, I'm not sure if this conversion is actually worth it, as I haven't done the math, but I get the feeling that there's much more valuable things you can buy with doubloons that isn't just free XP. So I'd recommend using your doubloons on other things and converting XP from premium ships. And in total, I wouldn't actually consider this a major perk of premium ships, because normal grindable ships can have this aspect too once you grind all the modules and finish that part of the line. And the final perk of premium ships, and perhaps the most important perk of premium ships, is the permanent camouflage. This is perhaps one of, if not the most important aspect of premium ships. The premium camo provides so much value in terms of credits and XP that it's a really strong aspect of each premium ship. So let's run through the benefits of permanent camouflage for each premium ship. So in terms of experience gained, from tier 2 to tier 8, you get 50% extra experience per battle, and 100% from tier 9 and tier 10. You also get a reduction in terms of the ship's post-battle service costs. This amounts to a 10% saving at tier 2 to tier 8, 20% reduction for tier 9, and a huge 50% reduction for tier 10, which makes an absolute massive difference overall. And finally, the amount of credits you earned is multiplied by 20% for every premium ship, irrespective of the tier. I really cannot stress how much the permanent camouflage affects the overall rewards gained for the premium ships in the game. It makes such a massive difference overall. And again, just to reiterate, when you're playing a tier 9 or tier 10, the premium ship makes it consistently viable to play at that tier, whereas you probably wouldn't, well, an average player probably wouldn't be able to sustain that, just due to the fact of the service costs and having to get so much damage just to cover those every single game. So premium ships give a viable way for you to consistently play at high tier and a high tier level of gameplay. Alright, now let's move on to the second point. A little bit of comparison between maybe several different premium ships and non-premium ships. Okay, now let's get into some comparisons. Usually I don't like using comparisons to equate things within the game, as every ship is fairly unique, but I think there's a few instances where it is possible to compare premium ships to normal grindable ships. Now let's compare two ships, one premium, one grindable, and see how they relate. For this purpose, I've chosen the Thunder, the Royal Navy Tier 10 premium battleship, and the Conqueror, the Tier 10 British grindable battleship. So many people basically call the Thunder an improved version of the Conqueror, and I think these ships are a perfect example of the relationship between premiums and non-premiums. Sure, you have stronger AP in the Thunder, but the HE is fairly similar in both ships. The Thunder might be a bit less tankier than that of the Conqueror, but both are still relatively squishy, and both have monstrous HE. Sure, you will probably have a bit of an easier time and better time in premiums, and there will be some real advantages to premium ships, but overall it's not going to be game breaking. And when I play the Thunder and when I play the Conqueror, I get the feeling that these ships are basically the same. The thing that squares it for me is just the economic advantages of the premium ships, which is kind of detached from the ship. Now, that's not denying that premium ships can be overpowered, or it's not at the same time denying that all grindable ships are underpowered, because you have things like the Kremlin. But it is worth pointing out that there is differences between premium ships and non-premium ships, and there's ships that there isn't actually all that much difference, so keep that in mind. Now let me explain where I think premium ships just diverge from grindable ships and why. If you look at the most recent rank season, you can see a prime example of this. The main ships played were both the Belfast at tier 7 premium and the Atlanta at tier 7 premium. Both these ships were extremely strong and pretty much made any other ship in that rank season inferior. Now I believe there's two distinct reasons why premium ships may be a bit stronger than other ships, and of course this doesn't really apply to every ship, otherwise the Kremlin wouldn't exist again. But when you introduce a ship that people have to pay money for, there's going to be an expectation of quality, and as a result, a lot of premium ships tend to sit on the above average side of the scale in terms of strength relative to other ships. The inverse of this point also applies. When premium ships are way too far to one side of the scale of strength, it may be easy to buff them, but the backlash for nerfing something that people spent real money on is massive. And I believe this is one of the key reasons why premium ships are usually introduced already strong and rarely nerfed, because as the power creep of the game continues, they slowly settle down to a good strength level. Alright, so that covers the second point, and I think that outlines basically how non-grindable ships and premium ships can relate in terms of just pure gameplay, and maybe gives a little bit more colour on what I think the interaction between premium ships and non-premium ships has in the game. So moving on, I want to give a little bit of personal perspective on how I see premium ships and non-premium ships. So in total I have 8 premium ships and 25 non-premium ships currently sitting in my port. The ship I play the most is a premium, the Thunder, and the fact that the Thunder is a premium ship in and of itself is a factor as to why I play it so much. I play at high tiers, and for me, being able to sustainably play at high tier means I play the Thunder or any other premium ship, and as a result, that basically subsidizes me being able to play other ships like the Yamato or the Kremlin or the Groza Kurfürst or the Minotaur at tier 10 also. So in that way, premiums kind of fit in with other ships and they fit into the ecosystem in a very healthy way. Now the savings you can have from playing a premium ship at high tiers, especially tier 10, is so huge that grindable ships become very difficult to play without something like a permanent camouflage over a period of time. So if you are an exclusively high tier player like I am, say tier 9 or tier 10, then getting premium ships should 100% be a priority for you. If you enjoy playing at lower tiers, say from tier 2 to tier 7, where 19-point captains don't matter as much and the associated credit and XP values aren't going to bankrupt you, then premium ships probably shouldn't be an ultimate priority for you, but something to get if you have the money laying around or the coal or steel and you really want to get a certain ship. Another thing I've been considering is whether premium ships have an inherent strength to them gameplay wise, even if you leave out the economic aspects of these ships, and from what I can tell, that doesn't seem to be the case. Instead, I believe that premium ships fit a very nice niche within the game that simultaneously both allows wargaming a monetization avenue while also allowing players to access ships that are playable at certain tiers for prolonged periods of time, where grindable ships just simply aren't. It pays off in both directions, and as a result, I think we're not going to get any slowdown in the amount of premium ships introduced into the game, and I'm okay with that. I don't think premium ships are all that much of a bad thing, but actually complement the grindable ships really well. So that's my thoughts on premium ships, and that's basically the video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did like this video, like it. If you didn't, dislike, and if you enjoy this type of content, subscribe. But until next time, I'll see you in the next one.